what are we jamming on now? What are you jamming on now, Jay?
A little bit of Final Fantasy on the NES.
I have heard my
Big,
text message.
big surprise.
The group chat has alerted me of this.
I mean, honestly, just obviously, I'll save the details for when we play it. But yeah, I got sucked into this and clearly just leveled and just kept fighting. And yeah, had to pull myself away to play this Revenge of Shinobi game that we're here to talk about. But needless to say, I'm having a fantastic time.
Really, anyways.
Yeah, may just do damage. Spoiler alert: may just do damage.
They can once you get them rocking and rolling. They can for sure.
Yeah, but other than that, man, I've been playing a lot of Elder Scrolls Online again. I have a Magica Warden who I always set up like he's geared to look like he's an Ice Warden, but I never really had the gear to make him like full ice magic. And so I got some new PvP gear. And so I have him in the battlegrounds, which is like 4v4v4, like small scale player versus player battles, like death matches. And so like I got this great like frostbite gear with another like frost magic set. And the whole point of that,
a warden is what exactly? It's just an assistant.
it does like earth magic and like healing and stuff, but like mine is basically all like frost magic. So it just, the whole purpose of that is just to freeze you and slows you down, like slow you down, and keep you from doing anything and just do damage. So it's been like wrecking people in battleground. So I'm having fun with that. And then otherwise just get my DPS up with my main character so I can actually compete in vet trials again. Which because they're always redoing stuff, so you always gotta
sounds so exhausting.
Let me get updated. Let me make sure my DPS is updated where it needs to be. Yeah, it gets a little tiring, but then like the competitive part of me is like, yes, I need to do this because I want to be the best again. You know,
like my Clash of Clans. Like my Clash of Clans. You have so much invested, you can't let it go.
Exactly. like I was always here at the top. Now I'm like down here a little bit. Like I gotta just I gotta get back up there a little bit. I can't let it drop. Gotta have those options to play because they're always releasing new like DLC dungeons, which are always like longer and harder. And so like I have just enough skills there where I'm like, yeah, I can still just jump on a team and play those newer dungeons, those newer like trials that they come out with. So gotta keep it up, gotta keep going. It's still fun, like it's still a blast.
It's a subscription fee, right?
For the ESO Plus, you don't have to have that, but like you want to have.
But
you really want.
What I'm asking is, how long have you been paying them a subscription fee?
How long have I lived in Seattle? Like maybe a year or two after that. So like 5 years maybe. It's nuts. It's nuts. But it's such an amazingly beautiful game. Like all the other games I used to play that were like that. Like I tried to get back into on PC and I'm just like, I can't because ESO now is like visually, graphically, it's just beyond that. And so I'm invested, It's amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. That between that and work, I've been kind of like dabbling into some smaller games here and there, but nothing I can really talk about.
Well, I've been playing a ton of Oculus shit, kind of overwhelming, as you might imagine. Still playing Walkabout Mini Golf, Demio. I just did another run last night. They did an update the other day where they added some shit. They added like vortex lamps, so like the vortex mage spell is now like a lamp on the board that you can shoot, and it sucks everything to the
nice.
lamp, which is an interesting new strategy element. There's some new cards. There's a regroup card, so if everyone's spread out, which is great because I always play as the assassin, so I'm often like fucking off somewhere doing something. So having a regroup card where you can just bring the whole party together is a pretty cool feature.
Nice.
That gives you a little more, because that is kind of one of the like. That's why one of the reasons I love the assassin so much is because you can go freelance and do your own thing on your own. But generally speaking, it's the safest thing to do, especially for non-assassin characters, is to stay together and combine skill sets and use that to be the most effective. But with the regroup thing, there's a little bit more incentive. You can get separated, or maybe even just split off 2 and 2 and come together if things get hairy, without.
Like, oh, let's not do that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get over there and get you back to life, man. I don't know. I guess come out and come back in. There were a handful of little, just minute changes. I wish one of them was a new campaign. That badly needs to happen, but we shall see. The last one did. I mean, it came out in like May, so you'd think the new one's got to be coming. And like it's, unless they feel like it's not being supported, like why would that not be happening? You know what I mean? And I don't see any like actual news about like a drop date or anything, which is crazy to me. Like I just don't know. Like like charges for it, like they will pay. We will pay for it. It just blows my mind that it's not like a. I don't know. I guess it's probably just a testament to the fact these are smaller teams for that system. It's just not.
Yeah. Maybe they thought 2 would like suffice for a while. Now they're like, oh, people are like, want another one like now? Like, all right, you know what I mean?
I just don't see how. They had the game. I think the game came out in like March, and they had the Rat King out in like May or June or something, just a few months later. So like they, initially had that clearly has a longer
Must
development
have been
time.
always been the plan.
Exactly right. So how the fuck is a new one? I don't know. It's kind of amazing to me. But shall I go with you? You need me to sweep some? You need me to fucking do some chores for you to give you some time, some free time? I'll come over to the place. Just tell me where it is. I'll help out if you need me, man. So let's get another fucking mission out. So yeah, that real VR fishing a little bit here and there. Played a little more Carly and the Reaper actually last night with Amy. That's such a cute, like we played a few hours now and we're at 13%. Like I think it's a long ass game. And it's each one they're getting pretty sprawling. It's like 3D, 360 degree, like space puzzles where you're, like I said, you're moving those blocks around, and the little character in the world has to jump, use what the other person who's kind of orchestrating the environment, use the new environmental variables to progress, and they're getting pretty fucking big and crazy now. So I don't know. I can't believe we're only at 13%. Unless they're like, my only thing is maybe like some of that, maybe there's like unlockables or something we're skipping. I'm pretty actually,
I see.
I mean, as I assume you would guess, I'm pretty thorough and fucking anal retentive about like, there's these little fairies that are put in kind of like compromising places that are, there's not even like a counter of how many you're collecting or anything. Like, I don't even know if they have any purpose at all, but they're there and I want them. So, so like I can tell, yeah, Amy is not that way at all. And I can tell every time like a trying one, I'm like, no, we got to get that. She's like, she wants to say, fuck that. But she knows I'm just going to bitch. So she like begrudgingly does it, and goes and gets it. So,
that is great. That's like the opposite of me and Courtney. I'm always like, let's go to the objective and fight things. She's like, let's get every little thing. I'm just like, okay, like I've acquiesced at this point. So I understand Amy's point of view.
Yeah, to me, it's just like my one concern is that there's stuff like that is factored into that percentage, and essentially things are getting lost in the fire, and it won't be as long as it suggests. But if that's not it, and it really is, we've only done 30% of the game to this point. Holy shit, is that game worth $20? Like that's great.
Nice.
In any event, I also, as I mentioned to you via text message, I got Shadowgate VR came out. The Mines of Mythrock is the name. And if you've ever listened to this pod before, you've likely heard me gush about Shadowgate on the NES. I streamed a Kill Quest playthrough of it recently. I love the game and the story world. It was fucking great. I was like, the only time they've really, to my knowledge, tried to rekindle the series is Shadowgate 64 on the Nintendo 64, and it was awful. It was a total dumpster fire. So essentially, this is a game that happened in like a big part of my childhood in the late 80s, early 90s, and there's just been nothing good out of that world since. So when I saw this, I was like, I mean, dude, I was walking around doing something, and like, I don't know, I saw a trailer, or no, I was listening to that an Oculus podcast, and they mentioned it in their like new release stuff coming up, and I was like, Shadowgate, like the Shadowgate that fucking like, what do you mean? How did I not hear about this? And like, I'm immediately like Googling trailers and shit, and so I was day one on downloading that baby, and it's pretty damn good, dude. It's so like they captured a lot of the tonality of the first game, which is you're dying a lot. Like, so like all those Mac Venture games, Deja Vu and Shadowgate both, like it's, in those cases it's ultra simplified. You just have like the little panel and you're just like literally clicking things, and you're just, it's just trial and error essentially. You're just trying to see what works, and like most times if something doesn't work, you die. And that's just like what it's it's like a joke almost from that game. Like it cuts to a Grim Reaper in the panel, and like starts up that music, and like I'm sure there's memes and shit out there of like, just how frequently making a joke of how frequently you would see that playing a game like that. And it's like that in this game, but they did it like their restart system is so quick and seamless that it's not annoying. Whereas in the first one, it's fucking annoying. So you gotta like actually load and come back to wherever your save point was, yada yada. Like the save points are so frequent in this that you die and it's just like it's almost, I don't even know, it's almost like playing like one of those fucking third person things where it's just like, oh, right back to the scene. You're just literally, like if you're holding up when you die, you're back in so fast you're probably running before you take your finger off the stick, like that. like that level of seamlessness of respawning, and that's pretty cool. And you have, so it's, of course, a 3D space, and you have this raven bird that's like an actual raven that is kind of your sidekick escort. He's like a magical the dude
like a
who's
familiar type of thing.
Kind of, yeah. He's like the dude who kind of sends you on this mission, the mage that sends you on this mission. It's kind of like an extension of him, But like he's really sarcastic and he talks a lot of shit. So it's like the commentary, and that's one of the things I loved about Shadowgate. The commentary and the writing is like, it's very well done. By video game standards, it's witty. It's like, really fucking, I don't know. It's not just boring video game copy. Like, they do a pretty good job of keeping it interesting and trying to make it funny as much as you can within the confines of a video game world, So they really captured that as well, I think. And so yes, you're taking over a sorcerer in a medieval fantasy setting, and it does some, and I honestly kind of fucking, it's the one thing about it I kind of hate. It does have some FPS, like real time shit you got to do with your wand, shooting enemies and stuff. And
I like that. You got me more interested now.
It's not the best part of it at all by any length, but it's not overwhelming, and it's usually most times the real threat, with the exception of those fucking flying things that you'll bump into a bunch, it's like a shock thing, like, because there's a lot of like it's puzzles, so you're constantly like revealing a secret wall, opening a door, yada yada yada. So like you'll open these things or turn a corner and fucking someone just goes fucking like just out of nowhere, and you gotta like, you're trying to like, because you have, which is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this in a I guess I haven't played that much VR, but like, so you have these holsters. One has your wand in it, and one has this little ball that you can turn into a shield. So like, to you, like, when you die, they get reholstered, and and that's almost kind of dumb because there's no reason. Like, you don't need. I guess if you want to use post items or stuff, you probably need the other hand. But in any event, like, there's no real reason to ever put the wand away. But every time you die, you do have to take it back out. And like, if you forget to do that after you and like something happens or you need your wand, you got to like look down, grab, and like, it's kind of like, it's a little further back, and we, especially like, I play that game sitting down, so like, it's not the most easy thing to grab it out of your holster, and like, you're almost surely gonna get fucked with a little bit by whatever you're trying to shoot. So that's a little bit frustrating, but other than that, the controls, I would say, are pretty damn good. Yeah, and I don't know, it's good. Like, I'm definitely, I'm pretty fucking far into it now. Probably, I don't know, 6-7 hours maybe, and I'm almost certain I'll be sticking it out for sure. Like, there's other things. Like, I stopped playing I Expect You to Die. I want to get the new Resident Evil 4, but I'm like, I can't get that till I finish Shadowgate. So like, I know I'm pretty invested, which is a pretty good sign. And I wanted to. So I told you a little bit about this, but a cool thing that happened when I first downloaded it. So I got stuck on something dumb as fuck, like a really, I don't know, it's not even worth explaining what the fuck it was. Just some dumbass little thing on a bridge, and especially early on, like, I'm not gonna look stuff up. Like, I want to fuck, but this is a puzzle game. Like, if you look shit up, you're ruining the point of the game. So like, I was really adverse to like trying to look stuff up, but it was like, I knew it was just some dumb mechanic thing. Like, the problem was something mechanic that I just didn't understand how to interact with the world yet. So like, I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna look it up, so I'm not stuck on this super stupid thing. It's not like I can't figure out this puzzle element. It's just something dumb. So I started looking around, and like, this game is not. It's not being ported from something. It's an Oculus original, so it doesn't exist anywhere else. And Oculus is such a small platform that, unlike an Xbox game that comes out, there's not already like a million fucking idiots that have played it and posted every aspect of it online in a video and FAQs and shit. Like none of that existed. So I'm looking around, and this is the first night it came out. I'm looking around, and there's literally nothing about it on the internet. And like, I don't know. I hadn't had that feeling in so long. Like where you needed an answer to a video game and it did not exist. You know what I mean? It just did not exist. It was, I don't know. It was like, it was crazy. Like I was sitting there wishing, I was like, I wish I could call it Nintendo consoles or something. Like that was like, yeah, kind of feeling I had. Like, oh my God, like this is what this is what the feeling of wanting to call the Nintendo consoles was like, and like worried your dad was gonna be pissed off about the phone bill.
Like, sorry, son, get good, figure it out.
Right, exactly right. Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. It's just cool. Of course, didn't expect to be able to get that feeling out of a fucking modern game. And I also found. Did I tell you about the roller coasters app?
Yeah.
Okay. It's free to download. Epic Roller Coasters it's called. So just fucking download it. There's literally zero downside to it, other than maybe vomiting. But so it has in-app purchases, of course. But there's plenty to it. There's enough to enjoy and get the vibe out of it without having to give it a dime. So dude, I can't believe how intense it is, dude. I cannot fucking believe how intense it is. Like.
I'm in disbelief of that statement.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm sitting on my couch. I'm just like, I couldn't believe how physically, like, you could feel, dude, or I think I can feel. Clearly, I don't. You don't sit on your couch with a thing on your head, and you're not going down a hill. But like, you can feel genuine centrifugal force going through turns and going out. I cannot fucking explain it. I don't know what to tell you, but you can feel it. It is a feeling, like a physical feeling, and I can't explain it. Like you do when you first fire it up, it takes you through like, I think it was like a 3-step kind of, how physically capable of you. This fact they have that shows that I'm not psychotic, because there's like this 3-step thing that like is literally a gradual pushing on your senses as to how intensely you can handle what this game can do to you. You know what I mean? So yeah, you go through each one, and there's like this little fucking thing in front of your car. He's like, "How do you feel? You gonna throw up? Want to do the next one or what? What's up?" So like, you go through. I did all 3, and I'm like, "Yep, all right, let's go." So we fucking do the thing, and or actually go into the very first one, and the 4. I think there's 4 that are available to you as part of the free thing. The first one is a Jurassic Park type deal where a T-Rex chases you and shit, and so it's like, I think that's a 7-minute ride that they call casual, so it's not even like an intense one necessarily. But yeah, you go past dinosaurs, you like come around a turn, there's a fucking brontosaurus head flying in at you, and then at the end there's a T-Rex chase and shit. That's pretty fucking cool. But so yeah, so you can, as part of this, like you go through, you pick your car, your level, yada yada. You can also pick who rides in the car with you. So like they have, I think actually you can do multiplayer too. So you and I's avatar could go on a ride together, and it's cool because you have a selfie stick, so you can literally whip out a selfie stick at any time, and it's just like a 2-click thing, and you just like click, and like he like whips it out, and like, yeah, I posted both videos. The avatar you can create is out, not somewhat capable of embodying an actual human being, and like, so yeah, like that, and then, but if you don't have a multiplayer thing, you can pick an NPC to ride with you, and they have like just crazy ass options for NPCs, like soldiers and all these different kind of zombies and a Santa Claus and a
That's
goblin.
why I saw you with a zombie, and I was like, "Why is a zombie sitting next to you? Like, what is happening?"
It's hilarious because they're there the whole time, and like you have like, that's the whole thing. Like you have 360 degrees, look around, whatever, and like you're riding the ride, you can just look over at it, and he's just sitting there, and he's just like, the zombie's just sitting there, just going, brains. It's hilarious, and then like you're like putting like, I guess scares, maybe you would call them, like there's something notable happening in the environment, and he'll like point at it and go, brains. And then when you take the selfie stick out, all of them have like a pose for the selfie thing, like the zombies like fucking, like, it's super stupid and silly, but a remarkably fun addition to this type of app. Yeah, really, really, really cool. And honestly, like I said, for free, I cannot stress enough. It's great. Yeah, there's like, it's so damn intense, dude, that it has like this, like a target that it puts on the front of your car. So they tell you the little assistant tells you at the end of the thing when you do your little fucking trial thing to find out if you can handle it. Tells you like if you feel you're gonna vomit, just stare at the target. So it's like it's almost like a hood ornament, I guess is a good way to think of it, right on your car. And because the nausea that the game can create is a lot. It has to do with the environment whipping by and like shit being disoriented and moving around constantly. So if you just focus on this target, it almost like doesn't block all that out, but like how whatever the fucking science is behind the human mind, where like whatever creates nausea, like focusing on that minimizes the impact of everything moving around it, and you can just focus on that and kind of get your shit together, and yeah, I mean, I don't really, I don't get nauseous. I definitely don't have a problem with the Oculus. Like the VR doesn't fuck with me in that way, really. And I, ride roller coasters and shit. I'm first car, let's go on every roller coaster. So I was surprised that I needed to use that at times, and I definitely do. Like there'll be times I'll be like, whoa, like you can't, there's no. I mean, you could take it off, but like it's not like I don't know. There's no pause button. It's like you do that, and you're like the thing is still going, and you're sitting there like I get it's almost like testing yourself to some degree too. Like I said, you could just rip it off, but like I don't know, you'll get that feeling, and then like look at the thing, and like you're like trying really hard, like I'm not gonna puke. Fucking playing the Oculus video game. There's no way. And then like once you feel like you got your shit together.
I know Punk Bitch. I know Punk Bitch.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a really fun and cool thing that I'm shocked is free. And there's so there's 4 courses. I don't know if you want to pay for it. I'm sure it's some nominal ass amount of money. There's fucking just unlimited amount of I don't know, 14 or something different things, and there's 3 different modes you can play. You can do just the classic riding. There's a shooting one where there's targets and stuff you can shoot while you're on these, and then there's a racing one too. I'm guessing you're racing against a multiplayer or something on them. I don't know exactly how that would work, but you can somehow control your movement, so lots of replayability if you want to give them a few bucks, probably.